Welcome to Your Mama House.
Glad to be back. I wanted to talk about something. You know, as we're getting older, I'm noticing you and I have similarities, and you and our siblings have some similarities. And it's like, where did we get this from? And I've concluded these are qualities we get from Dad. And I wanted to talk about this because most of you guys know our dad passed when we were young, and we have a mom, but she's not totally like receptive and having conversations with us regarding our dad, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of want to talk about how has it affected you that mom just like absolutely refuses to talk about Dad.
Yeah, you would think that you have a parent who is still alive, that they could give you some form of closure, especially with them being the spouse of the parent that had passed. But it was hard. Like, it's still hard sometimes, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you can relate. And I know, like, words mean so much to you, too. So especially, like, when you have conversations with mom, it's like you expect her to also tell the truth and use her words to share and give you closure or information that would be helpful for you in your grieving journey, or, you know, as you process.
One thing that I think about is I feel like it's a little unfair because it's like, that's my dad and you are the adult. I only have the recollection of a child. And now that I'm older, I have questions. I want to know, how was he like? And I don't only want to know how was he like as a husband to you, because I know Dad was imperfect and he hurt mom in a lot of ways, and I don't want to discredit mom for that. But I'm also at a point where I'm curious on how he was as a person and not just him as a dad and a husband. And mom doesn't want to.
And I think that's totally normal that you seek for that. Like, you want that. Who doesn't? You're his daughter, we're his daughters, and we're her daughters, and we want to know. And I think maybe for mom, like, maybe that's what she copes with. It's like, I don't want to talk about it at all.
Yeah.
But then to what? Like, whose expense? Ours. Like, who else is going to tell the story of Dad when she's the one who may know the most about him, having been married to him and being his partner and having children, raising children with him until he passed? Like, wouldn't she be able to share her perspective of him with us? Unless she thinks all that was bad and she doesn't want to make him look bad. Because she has told me this before.
She does say that.
Yeah.
But let me decide. Because there's a part of me where it's like, okay, I suppose. But I'm also an adult now. Like, I also understand mom more as a woman and not just as our mother.
Yeah.
We're old enough to understand. I don't know if she recognizes that about us.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right? Like, yeah, I can handle it. If all you have to say about my dad is that he was so bad or so this, okay, I guess, share it with me. But I also know that a person is not 100% all bad only. Yeah.
It's like, let me make the decision to view him the way I will, based on the information you give. Or not even based on that, but like, I just want more info. I would just ask my mom random questions like, oh, what was his favorite color? What did he enjoy doing? She doesn't want to talk about that.
Even the most basic things.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. All I know is he wore burgundy boxers often.
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
And he passed away in burgundy boxers.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, see, this is why we need to talk about it.
I mean,
I'm sure you don't remember. He always only wore like maroon burgundy boxers. You don't like, and no shirt. I remember he would.
Yeah, Dad
often
always
dress like
was topless.
Yeah.
I am. You see, that's so crazy because it's like, whether it's like deep stuff or very shallow things, mom doesn't want to discuss it.
Yeah. All we can is have our own stories with each other.
We're filling in the stories for each other. You guys know I do a lot of writing and I'm journaling a lot. It was So who told me, like, you remember Dad used to do that too? And I'm like,
yeah. He wrote everything down. You do that too.
I do that as well. And I didn't know he did that, which is why, like, when I see you doing things, I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad used to do that.
Yeah.
And we're like filling in, like, oh my gosh, that's how my dad was. And as much as, like, our mom doesn't like our dad or whatever, valid, I get it, he probably hurt you. But when you do things that reminds me of Dad, it makes me love Dad all the more.
Yeah. It's very cute because he still lives in and through us. Like, we are a part of him. Well, we may not have a parent who wants to talk about our past father, but we have each other still. So we're just gonna do what we can, because like, we can't control what mom does. We can only control our own selves. And like, even if it's as small as, I remember Dad used a yellow bar soap that smelled like tea. So sometimes when I go to places that use like herbal tea, I'm like, oh, that reminds me of Dad.
I think I know exactly what soap you're talking about.
It's like this yellow Asian soap. Dad used it to wash his face and stuff.
That's cute.
So it's like those basic things that I remember. Not nothing deep, but it's like well, that's all I have, so I'm going to remember that. He smelled like this. He wore this. His hair swooped like this.
He was a neat freak.
Yeah, he was.
That's where we get it from.
Very organized.
Very, very organized. Very methodical in his thought. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He also taught himself things like to cut hair. I remember there'd be like Saturday mornings when he would wake up and cut each of the brothers' hair in the living room and then sweep it all up.
Yeah, I remember he used to cut our nails. Like he was very, very particular with how our nails were. And I don't know, I love my nails. I remember one time I trimmed my nails. He's like, let me see. And he was like, you didn't cut them. You trimmed. Because I always wanted long nails.
Don't you feel like that was kind of sweet bonding time?
Yeah.
It wasn't that deep, but it's like, you know, like in Black culture, like when they braid and take care of their child's hair, it's like that's bonding. And I feel like when Dad would like, come here and then like lift your feet up and clip your feet, like that's kind of intimate. Yeah. Like that's kind of sweet. Like that was some of the only good memories I have.
That was thoughtful.
And remember.
And you know, I feel like sometimes maybe Mom doesn't talk to us about Dad because sometimes it feels like she's trying to convince us that he was a crap person. It seems like that, and I'm just, because she's so like, just let it go, and I'm like, that's literally half of me. I don't know how to let that go.
It's probably really triggering for her because you said that she's trying to convince herself or us that, but also one time, this is when I was really angry at Dad, and this is when I went off to college and I would come visit at times, and Mom gave me this envelope that Dad had left for me. It had like $90 in it. And I was like, I don't want that. No, you can keep it. Use it on whatever you want. And she could tell I was pissed. Like, and I was hurt by Dad. And she was like, what is it? Like, she was trying to actually convince me that he wasn't all bad.
Wow.
So I was like, lady, make up your mind. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to talk about him, but you don't want me to view him badly. And, like, you don't want to talk about him. She just doesn't want to talk about him. So is it like a trigger, like a very near and dear? And I'm trying to be like aware and cautious of like her trauma too. It's hard
because I kind of like, you know how like we have exes or it's like I don't really want to talk about him. Or, I wonder if it's like that, right? Because to her, that's her late husband. You know, he maybe wasn't the best partner. Yeah. But I'm not looking at it as like, how was he like as a husband to you? How was he as a person? I'm more curious on like his day-to-day life. What was his routine like? What qualities did you admire? I'm curious in those things. So sometimes I feel some bitterness with Mom because I feel like she's cheating me out of knowledge or context of how our father was, because now I'm left to figure it out on my own when I observe you guys or when I observe myself. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to figure it out on your own. You know, we have a living parent who could tell us what they know, like share their experience with us. And she chooses not to. And it's like, okay, you know, like we just had to come to acceptance of it. Like, all right, it's been 18, almost 19 years since he passed. And we're still grieving and trying to figure things out.
I feel like I just started grieving. It's been quite a journey. Grief is so interesting. I don't know. I think it would help me with my grief if I was to maybe know more. It might even help Mom with grief. Like to talk about him as like a person and not just as my ex or, you know, my late husband. We need to humanize people more. And I guess we just have to figure it out for ourselves. I don't think Mom will ever. Yeah.
I feel you on that, especially since I've become more spiritual and in tune with like my energy, my feelings and Dad's energy. I'm like, that's been so healing to me. Yeah. Like this is the first year where I don't only see the bad about Dad. To finally see good in Dad too, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's healing. It changes the way I grieve him.
It is healing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're seeing bigger picture of him. Because, I mean, we remember how he made us feel when like he would discipline us in certain things. But there are also a lot of aspects where I'm like, okay, this is beautiful. Like I told you, every time when I take off on a flight, I think about Dad and how he used to take us to the airport and we would take pictures there. And I'm like, okay, my love for traveling, it came from Dad.
It's beautiful how the good stuff be passed down to each generation. Like even in our nephews and nieces, like I could see how everything is like it's passed down.
Yeah, they're like their parents, our nieces and nephews. It's like... And so when I look at that, I'm like, well, that means that we must be like our parents.
And how we're like our grandparents. It's so cool.
And how our parents are like their parents. And it's just like we just keep being little like duplicates of the people who we share DNA with.
Yeah, it's adorable.
It is adorable. I also don't want to make it sound like if you have a parent who is not good and they pass, that you have to want to get to know them. It's just, I'm 31 now. Dad has been gone for a while, and I'm finally turning a new leaf where it's like, oh yeah, I need to know more.
The first 9 years since Dad has passed, I didn't ask Mom like anything about Dad. She was so depressed and busy working that I was like, okay, she's doing her own thing. And then it was only when like I left for college that I started processing Dad's passing, that I would come back from college and ask Mom questions, and that's when she'd be like, no. And I'm like, what? This is my first time asking you. Don't want to talk about it?
Yeah. How was that? Like when you asked her?
I was like, oh, okay. Like, oh, you clearly have some things to work through, because I feel like we as Dad's children deserve to know.
I know, I agree. And sometimes I'm like at odds, because I'm like, Mom, why would you not tell us? Why would you not share this? And sometimes I feel like she must think I'm overstepping her boundaries. Some people just don't have the capacity that we have with holding certain conversations. But I also feel like it's unfair, and I'm learning to accept that I can think it's unfair, and I guess you're never going to tell me.
Yes. Acceptance, man. That's hard sometimes.
And it do make me mad sometimes, because I'm like, it's just Dad. Just tell me about Dad. But it's like she doesn't want to have it, so.
Yeah. Maybe himself as a person is triggering for her, because
I get that.
We just want basic stuff, but it's like, okay. Like, you can't do it, and that's okay.
I ain't even going to lie. Sometimes I'm like, man, her capacity is so small. It is what it is. I'm not trying to push it, but then that makes me think that's probably why they argued, because Dad probably had more capacity for certain conversations than she did. Because Dad was a talker as well. We get that from Dad. He liked having certain conversations.
Oh,
remember he used to make us have family meetings?
Yeah,
that was his idea. That's us now.
We would also sit together and like sing songs, and we would pray together. Like. Who would have thought that a family who beat us would do that? Like, I was like, oh, okay, like, you beat us and stuff, but then at the end of the day, we come together and we, like, prayed and sang worship songs.
We'll get hit on the way going to church, and at church, everything's fine and dandy.
Yeah. How weird.
Yeah. Maybe one day, I'm not saying that I'm going to hold my breath that Mom would open up and share, but I'm optimistic that as we age, we're growing, and maybe as she ages, she'll grow in that too. And Mom's the kind of person where you can't be like, oh, Mom, can you share with me some things about my dad? Nope. You gotta like trick her. Like, oh, Mom, I write a lot of notes. Did Dad do that too? Type of thing. You gotta simply reel her in.
Yes. I think if you're too upfront and straightforward with her, she's like, why are you asking me about that? I don't want to talk about that. But if you do it slick like that, then she's like, oh, yeah.
You gotta be more passive-aggressive with passive-aggressive people. They don't like direct communication.
That's true.
You gotta play their game.
I rarely hear my mom talk about my dad, so when she talks about him, like even just a little bit, like a little mention, then I'm like, I'm listening. So
yes.
We went to our friend's grandma's funeral, and our mom was there, and I went over to her where she was talking with her friend to tell her, like, come join us to go eat. My mom introduced me to her friend, and she said, oh, that's my daughter. And then her friend was like, wow, she does not look like you at all. The friend was like, yeah, her face is very long. And my mom was like, yeah, my face is more circular. She definitely looks like her dad. She gets the long face from him. And I was like, wow, she never talks about Dad. So even if it's just that, I will take it.
Wow. So, okay, see, like, I think that's supposed to be a sweet moment, right? Where Mom's like, oh, she resembles her dad. But it's like, what in other ways do we resemble Dad that you hate, that you don't like, and that you low-key do not like in us?
Yeah. In that moment, it seemed like it was like, oh, yeah, it's, like, long and beautiful.
Right, in a good way, right? But that means that she also has things that she negatively views that she automatically portrays as us. Because one time she was like, you're like your dad. Like, you always want to know the answers. I'm like, I just want to have a communication. I just want to have a conversation here.
That's cute that he was like that and that you're so like that too.
I can't help it. It's just the way I am.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at like the, what do they call it? Epigenetics.
I know what I have from Dad that Mom shared with me that I have.
What?
One time we went out to eat as a family, and so I drove my brother and my mom with me in my car, and my mom was in the passenger seat, and I have road rage. And so she was like, wow, you have road rage just like your dad. And I was like, kind of like, like this. I have something about my dad, but like, wow, that's so true. I didn't even realize that until she said it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's up with that?
Mom also told me in a way how you're like dad.
How so?
She said you're frugal like dad.
Wait, she thinks I'm frugal?
She thinks you're frugal like dad.
Hey, that can save you though, okay? Because he was good at saving money.
Yeah.
And I tried to be good with my money. I think
Dad
that's wise.
very
okay?
good with money. Dad was
but
very good with money.
The thing is, like, he worked so hard and wasn't able to really enjoy the money he made.
Yeah. I think you're better than Dad in that way.
I try. And so I'm like, I'm not dying until I spend my money.
Period.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I feel like we either get it like in a really harsh way or we don't get it at all. Like, I want to just be like, I just want to be able to like go visit mom and like it's just a normal thing. Oh, your dad used to do that. Like in a beautiful way. Instead of cheap like your dad. Like, jeez. Is there a better way?
I don't take it offensively that she thinks I'm frugal. Because not only am I frugal though, like I also live abundantly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm frugal so I can be abundant.
Yeah.
So that I can give. Because to me, it's not just like, it's not just, no, I want to save, I want to spend less. But I'm like, I want to live like this so that I can do fun things that I love with people I love. And buy things for people that deserve good things. So Dad was like that too, because I remember he would often check in on his loved ones back in Laos or Thailand. He would send them money. He cared for them. And he worked hard so that he can give to his loved ones and provide for us. So I'm very grateful to have that part of him living in through me.
I also think that like we knew too much about their relationship when we were little. We shouldn't have seen all that. Like I only know what we would see them arguing about. And I want to know from like a normal point of view. How was he as a person? Like, okay, I only know that y'all was arguing and shit.
How could you hide it too though when it's like in your mama house? We lived in a duplex, right? But we all lived like downstairs. Only sometimes here and there people would live upstairs, even though we had the whole house. So I'm like, maybe if they put some of us upstairs, then less of us, would hear their issues. But we were all downstairs hearing their issues.
Yeah, they were just doing too much. I've come to accept it. I've come to accept that it's unfair. I'm sad by it. And I also understand why mom may not want to express it to us, though she never tells us why. It just is what it is. I'm just accepting things.
We only really have each other. Oh my gosh, when Dad passed, I remember the older people that were there would be like, now it's just you guys. You guys only have each other. And so that shifted something in me where I'm like, oh my gosh, now I find myself telling siblings that. Because like when I would see a lot of kids, I would see them mistreating each other. I'm like, you guys are siblings. Treat each other with kindness, because, I mean, my siblings are probably going to think that I'm not living to my word. But it's like, you guys really only have each other. When you guys get older, you guys will see what I'm talking about. Yeah. And so, like now, with our mom not really being present, I feel like an orphan. And we really do just have each other. So, like, I could see how, okay, Dad's humor is in this brother. And, Dad's tidiness is in this brother. Yeah. Dad's desire to talk and have clarity is from, this person, this sibling. And, yeah.
I remember like a few months before Dad passed, and we were having one of our family meeting things, and he was just like, you guys have to love each other. You guys fight too much. Like one day when we're gone, it's just going to be you guys. And then he passed a few months after that. I just remember thinking like, it really is just us. I don't think it fully came into like, the understanding fully came into fruition until like I hit maturity though, in adulthood, where I'm like, whoa, the reality is hitting me. One day mom's gonna go, and even then one day our siblings were gonna go, and I do want us to be able to hold each other in that way, and that doesn't come from mom's not the let's hold the family close together. That's Dad. And so when we do that in our family, I'm like, okay, that's very much something that we adopted from Dad.
Oh, not having a dad has impacted us so much. I think of how different we'd all be if we did have a father, because like Dad did. He was the role of the leader. So with him being gone and with mom not knowing how to lead, that really changed things between our relationships that affect us right now. Yeah. So I'm like, dang, sometimes I wish there was someone to lead our family. We still don't have that.
I'm just kidding. I'm the Mhongya leader. We take turns being the Mhongya leader in this family. Someone has something to lead with every time.
Yeah. It is great, though, that we all do have our own strengths and gifts. So we pour into each other with what we have. But yeah, I mean, man, having a father, that's a beautiful thing that I hope to experience one day.
Yeah. And you know, honestly, if Dad was here, I think he would be very proud of us. I know a lot of people look at us and they're like, what are these girls doing? I don't care. In the way that we live our lives with boldness and confidence, that is what Dad embodied. He was very much that. And even when we like disagreed with him, I feel like he was more receptive to like, okay, that's how you really feel? All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that he was able to laugh at things. Like, not take things too seriously.
Mom is so serious.
She is.
She's a good balance.
Yeah. I need to learn to laugh at things more like him. Though. I do be serious like Mom sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes though, I feel like I pay a price for the karma that Dad did, and yeah, I do feel it. Karma.
When I had been in a relationship in the past, and I would remember for the first time how it felt to be with two parents, like I would leave crying. Yeah, because I don't remember. And so, but like, I remember right when we get into the car, I would start crying, and my ex would be like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I forget how it feels to have two parents. He passed away when I was just 9.
Even to have like a living parent, and you're just like, oh, she's still not in my life. It just feels kind of lonely sometimes, right? To be like, okay, I really don't have any parental guidance in this life.
Yeah. I think sometimes people think orphans are just people who have deceased parents, but I think it means people who don't have present parents. Yeah. And I'm like, that's hard. It's so hard.
I was telling someone about, oh my gosh, when I had my work trip, I got a little lit, and I accidentally trauma dumped a little bit. And I felt like an info slut after. And I sobered up a little bit when I caught myself saying, yeah, I'm an orphan. They were like... And people were comforting me, and they were crying. I was like, oh no, you guys, it's fine. I'm used to this. I'm used to not getting any support. And they're like, oh, they're like hugging me. I'm like, no, really, truly, I don't know any better in this life. Like, it is sad, but it's like, okay, when you come to terms with things, like, I never used the word orphan until I was in Mexico, and this old couple was like, your parents must be so proud of you. I was like, oh, actually.
Do you correct them?
I'm like, oh, no, they're not, actually. My mom, she's not. My dad, he died when I was 12. So, yeah, I miss it. I hope if I were to get married one day that I marry into a family that the parents love me. So I want to love them. Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing. I had a lot of daddy issues, and I'm healing through that. And I'm starting to see the beauty of things. Like, I love when people have great relationships with their fathers. The other day, I was having car issues, and I was getting my brakes replaced. And I was talking with one of the workers. I think he was actually the owner. And he was talking about his son. All of a sudden, his son called him. He was like, speaking of that, he picked up, and he was like, hola, mi vida. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, that literally means hello, my life. I think, right? And so I was like, oh my gosh.
That's so sweet.
He's saying like, hello, my world, like my life. And I'm like, damn, I have never heard my parents talk to me like that. But like to observe that, I'm like, that's so beautiful. Yeah. It's so beautiful. It's healing. I'm like, wow, I love that.
I literally don't envy people, but I envy people who have a good relationship with their parents. And it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a world, like, what would we be like?
You could see the difference. Like, it's like a thriving plant. It's like, wow, you were watered, you were sang to, breathed into. Yeah. You received what you needed. All of that.
I love that for them. I wish we had that.
Right. Like, man, sometimes the littlest thing will trigger me. This is only 2 days ago, okay? I was crying. This is the morning I texted y'all. And I was like, I was so stressed. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, wow, I wonder if I just had a dad who could be like, I'll figure out the car stuff for you. You know, it's things like that where I'm like, man, I want a dad who can do that for me.
Yeah. Or, honestly, like, I'm at a point where I really, really want male perspective on, like, relationships. I wish I had a dad.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't have the guidance that a lot of people have. I don't think people realize that is a huge, it's kind of like a cheat code in life, too, to have parents who can kind of guide you along the way. A lot of us are left to do it on our own. Yeah.
I feel like a father is, like, the first example that a child has of a man. And so that shifts everything for you. And so I'm still really learning a lot from that and healing through it.
Dude, Dad gave me a really good apology when I was 6 years old. And that has forever changed my life because I expect nothing less than an apology from a man. Because it was very kind and gentle and sweet. And then he gave me money after. And so it wasn't even about the money. It was about, like, he came to me with gentleness. And I'm like, okay. So I'm remembering the things, the good and the bad of everything, and kind of being like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't. Because if you don't know what you like, you're going to spend your whole life just experiencing what you do not like. And I didn't want that. I don't want that anymore.
Yeah, that's very sweet. And words mean so much to you too. So for him to set the example of what an apology should be like the standard for that. Yeah, he led the way for you in that.
He did.
Don't settle for less.
And it's also, even as a kid, when he gave me that apology, I understood, like, you probably have many apologies to give my mom. This makes me miss Dad. This makes me miss Mom. I will say, our parents are very lucky to have children who care so deeply and truly.
I love that. I still feel his energy. Like, even if Mom don't want to talk about him, fine, I'll connect with him through energy.
Dad, you just tell me.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I used to never understand this until I tuned into it. Like, you got to tune into it. And it only took 18 and a half years. But guess what? We're here.
Tap into it. If you have loved ones who are not here anymore, they're still here. Yeah.
Everything's spiritual. What?
Okay. Y'all know how, like, I shaved my head and my hair was really short. So when I would shower and I have a mirror in the shower, I'd be like, "Whoa, I look like my dad."
Oh, that's cute.
And like seriously, I'd be like, "Whoa, I look like Dad."
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't scare me, and then I was like, "Okay."
Okay. So y'all know how sometimes I'd be too transparent, and like, you were just talking about this earlier about how when people ask you how many siblings do you have, and you just be like 10, and I'd be like, well, it depends. If you count my dad's first daughter, she looked like Dad, like straight up Dad.
She does.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
You and I look more like each other, but she looks like Dad. She looks like Dad's sister. Yeah.
Yes, she does.
I don't know exactly who we look like because when I see you, I don't see Dad and I don't see Mom.
Right. That's why I thought I was adopted. That's how you convinced me when I was younger.
Also, I always told her she was adopted. Like, sorry, it's a little mean. But because it's also like, but we don't see amongst each other, but we have brothers who look just like our dad. And it's like, in the same way they don't see it. Is there something about us that we don't see?
I can see that you look like Dad.
Yeah, I think I look a little bit like Dad. I think I have a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a facial structure thing too.
Yeah.
And like your nose kind of reminds me of Dad.
Yeah.
And like kind of like even how your hair grows. It's like a swoop. Like Dad had a swoop.
Yeah. And my knees.
Yeah.
We have the same.
That's funny.
I told you, like, we saw that video that like briefly passed somebody's knees. I was like, I think that's my dad's knees. Because they're like my knees.
Speaking of bones and stuff, I have Dad's. This is one of my favorite qualities about myself. I have Dad's wrist bone. Do you? I love it. It pops up.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah, I love it.
Wait,
it's like a wrist bunion.
Wait, why is that bunion a lot bigger than this bunion?
Dude, I don't know, but Dad's left wrist bunion. Oh my gosh,
really?
It's pretty. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty.
Another thing that we got from Dad is Dad had like this thing in his ear.
Oh.
Like in the cartilage.
Like a bump in the back.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought that was normal for everybody.
No, not everybody has that.
Okay.
Well, except. There was a man I was talking to, he had that, and every time I touched it, I was like, oh, my dad had this too. Are you my brother? Ew. I know. Joke. It's a joke. He's not even Asian. So.
Oh my gosh, speaking of that, I had an ex who looked like Dad, and I was scared sometimes. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when we kissed, I would be like, I would stop, and I would not want to kiss because he looked like Dad
and our brother.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna not. So yeah. Word of advice for some of y'all, don't kiss anybody who looks like someone that you know. Like, especially relating to
I'm
family.
glad that you said that he looked like Dad, too, because I thought he looked like Dad as well.
He did. And in person, like, it wasn't just like from the photo that you saw, but man, sometimes I was like, whoa. And then because I was telling him that, he was like, send me a picture of your dad, show me. And I sent it to him. He was like, yeah, I can see it. And I was like, ew.
Was he charming like dad? Because dad was very charming.
Ew. He's like the most horrible foreplay guy ever.
Okay, speaking of four, can I say something?
Yes.
Was he the one with 4 nipples?
No.
Oh, that was this guy.
Ew. No, this the one with just one ball.
Anyway, anyhow. That is funny. Dad was funny.
He was
Dad
funny.
was funny. That was funny.
A funny story. Dad was really into math. And we have a brother who's really into math.
Yes.
And one time, also he instigates. That
Dad?
brother that's really into math. He always instigates when we're kids. But like
he still does.
He made things like funnier than it actually was when you're like, bro. So anyways, I was doing math with Dad. He was doing math with me. And I the answer was 5. So I wrote like 5, but backwards. And then my dad and my brother looked at each other and they just laughed. And usually we would get hit if we wrote something wrong or did something incorrectly. But no, he didn't hit me. And he just laughed with my brother. And I was like embarrassed. But I'm just glad I didn't get whooped. But that was hilarious.
So funny.
So whenever I see the number 5, I'm like, I just saw myself writing it backwards.
That is so funny, bro. I was remember when we would do math and dad would get really, really frustrated with us. And he'll be ready to like, he'll be training us with like a spoon in his hand. When I was teaching somebody, spoon. I was dating a guy that I was teaching him how to play Sudoku. And I'm like, well, why would you put 2 5s in one box?
Which guy?
I mean, he's good at Sudoku now.
Okay,
but when he was learning, I wanted to coach him so bad. I'm like, now, why would you do that?
We did get coachia for math. I forgot about that.
We sure did.
Dude, that hurts. So coachia is when you hit somebody with your...
It's like a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah. It hurts.
Did you get it more than I did? I didn't even...
Yes.
I hated it when they would go... and do it really hard.
Math was not that was not my strong suit, so I always got coachia.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and the spoon. And it's wooden. It's not just a spoon, it's a wooden spoon. It was big. You know, the wooden spoons. Oh my gosh, that stuff is real wood. It's heavy. It hurts.
It is solid.
What's up with people torturing people with wood and trees and stuff? That's painful.
I know. I guess we'll see how we continue to evolve in this. I don't, because it took us many, many years to think about this. That we have some siblings who don't even, maybe they probably don't even think of dad.
Or they do and they don't know how to talk about it until we initiate ourselves.
I mean, it seems like everyone's comfortable with having anger towards dad. But I remember when I would like express like sympathy or understanding for dad, then it was like, well, he was bad. So yeah, well, we have another parent who isn't so perfect either. Nobody has a perfect parent.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It's very extreme. This parent is all bad. This parent is all good. And I'm like, oh, great. We're not just going to see the truth for what it is. We're just going to make shit up.
I feel like sometimes people have more grace for the dead. But in our family, sometimes for the dead, it's like, nope. You're this and this only.
For the
but
living
the one that's living, you know, you're good.
We'll make excuses for that one.
Yeah, I'm like, that's so confusing.
That one can do no wrong.
Do y'all struggle with this? Because I know that there are some of y'all watching who also don't have fathers, and there are so many like complicated family dynamics. It's hard to navigate.
It is. It is hard to navigate. Yeah.
But less hard when you have each other to navigate it with.
I suppose if it was easy, more people would be doing it. Mm-hmm. But that's not true either, because going on walks isn't very difficult. People don't do that either, so... Anyway, I'm done prefacing.
Sometimes it takes a lot for someone to get out, though, because I was depressed one time recently, and it's so hard to just get out sometimes. Like, that's their best.
That's probably how mom feels about talking about dad. That is her best. She can't do it.
Yeah. It's like, all right, I will respect that. Mm-hmm. You can't, and still desire it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just discuss it amongst each other.
Yeah. Which is also healing.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, dad just come to us energetically anyway, so it is what it is.
God for that.
Here is a fun fact. In our family, our dad only named us.
Yes! They don't know that.
We are the only ones he named.
Yeah.
It's
That's
very interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. Someone told me, he was like, you're a daddy's girl. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you are. I'm like, I've never thought of myself. It is true. Mm-hmm. I would say I think I am as well.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. I think you are as well. You're the one he wanted. Which is why I'm surprised he named me. Because I'm like, you didn't want me.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
No, but now I understand. Like, okay, there was something mom felt that she had to keep me. And I'm like, oh, I get it. I was here for a purpose, even if I was unplanned for them. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, it just is what it is.
Okay, yeah, they wanted me, but they wanted me to be a boy.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all never fully. It's hard being a home daughter.
It is.
Yeah, I'm sorry that they. I can't believe they spoke so openly about that. Like you felt the energy of it.
Oh yeah, they didn't have to tell me.
Yeah, you knew. I remember when you got confirmation, you're like, I knew it. I was like, oh my.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I was like, no, that's not it. And I'm like, oh no, that is it.
Yeah, it was my reality. It was my truth. It was my experience all my life.
Only you knew that.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the truth is freeing. Like, I'm like, please don't lie to me. Lying hurts more.
Yeah.
So just give me the truth. Give me the opportunity to decide how I'm going to react to the truth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember right away, Mom was like, oh, Chitakuwa. She always says, don't cry. Whenever I'm sad about something because of Dad. Like, even when we found his funeral video, she just said, don't cry right after. And I'm just like, oh, that's sad, because then she tells herself not to cry, you know? We talk about this. And I was like, oh my gosh, if you just allow yourself to flow with what you feel, whether it's sadness or joy, like, set yourself free with the truth.
I don't normally care what people think, and I still don't, but I wonder what people think when they watch our stuff. Like, you know, our videos, I'm like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to think beyond this point of, like, all I know is our crazy family and the weird dynamics that we have. Mm-hmm. It's our life.
I be projecting, so I be thinking that some people see it the way we do, because how could you miss the message?
But a lot of people don't. They don't have parents who...
My tummy just growled super long and loud.
I am just accepting the fact that we have a very, very unfamiliar family dynamic. And some people might relate, and if you do, I am so sorry. And if you don't, I'm glad you don't. I truly think that the standard of family should be healthy parents who love you and raise you and want you to explore your thoughts and your mind.
And who encourage you to be your most authentic, freest self and live your greatest life and be your highest self. Though we don't have that, we parent ourselves, honestly. Mm-hmm. And nature parents us. The things we love, it heals us.
Mm-hmm. And seeing our brothers be dads too is kind of like, okay,
that's true.
That is healing for me too, because it's like, okay, a healthy parent, a healthy father does this. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. Like, even though they didn't have an example of a loving father, that they still can be that for their children. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
It is.
That's really healing for sure.
Yeah.
I think our brothers are really great fathers.
Yeah.
I love that for their children.
Well, thank you for joining us on this conversation. I know it might have been a heavier one. I'm not sure where you stand with your parents, if you have any deceased parents, but sending you love, light, and energy.
And hugs.
Yes, hugs. I guess we'll see you in the next conversation. See you next time. Thanks for watching. But when clink